Hey, what's up everybody? Dr. Nick here from Divine Elements, your fasting detox hormone expert, and I'm here with my little man, Soren. Say what's up? Hi. Soren just graduated from preschool yesterday. It's kind of a big deal. Usually on Wednesdays I get some time to myself to take care of some things, but today Soren's gonna be in the video. He's probably gonna steal the show as usual. So I want to talk about a few things, things that we bring up a lot with patients, and what I feel are extremely important pieces to understand. And the first thing is the wellness mindset versus reactive mindset. So I'm just going to define the two of them first. So wellness mindset, actually let's start with reactive. Reactive mindset is basically seeing everything as a problem, not being able to see a solution, and getting focused in on the problem. It's being diagnosed with an illness and living from that place and looking for a cure outside of ourselves. And there's three basic types of patients we work with. One, that's someone who's got a diagnosis, is deep into their illness, either knows they need to make a change or they don't realize that there's a whole approach to lifestyle medicine that they have yet to adopt. Number two is someone who's just dealing with symptoms, and I say dealing is kind of like the boiled frog experiment. We basically keep adding a new symptom on and things just keep deteriorating, but we just live with it. It just becomes our world. And then lastly is basically the wellness or preventative and optimization individual. That's someone who's taken charge, has implemented the wellness mindset, and is just needing some guidance and mentorship. Now, the wellness mindset, in contrast, is someone who's curious, who's willing to test, and is not going to give up, and is in a mindset that they know that their body has the innate ability to heal. They just haven't uncovered what are the obstacles to getting there. And this wellness versus reactive mindset is so important because it's taking the reality of getting healthy into a journey. There's no such thing as the cure-all 10-day detox plan, the 3-month, dietary turnaround, the 6-week program to get you, super healthy. That's not a reality. There's nothing in our world that's that simple. And the problem with the wellness versus reactive mindset is that reactive mindset is always looking for the pill to cure the ill. It's always looking for that one thing to solve the problem. Now, I'm going to step back a little bit, and where I feel this is important is that when we identify with this body that we have as I am, that's where we get into trouble. We have to understand that we have a body. We are not our body. Our body is our antenna, it's our computer, it's our vehicle in this experience that we're having. The problem is when we relate to the body as I am, we get so attached to this body deteriorating and not performing, and we identify it as us. Instead, we need to look at the body. Again, my belief system is that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And I'm still working on uncovering all the pieces that make that a reality. In this moment in time, though, what I understand is that we need to see our body as something we have. We either take care of it like a pet, like our car, our computers, our house, we upgrade, or as a relationship. And we're constantly working and building and improving. We're taking maybe the Ford Pinto vehicle that we were given at birth and turning into a Ferrari. And that's the mindset of being a wellness-focused mindset versus reactive. Because we know that this body, this vehicle, is something that can be improved upon. We can add different gadgets and upgrades and things like that to make it perform better. And in this mindset, we need to understand that our body has all the intelligence to heal. The problem is that we get stuck on limiting beliefs or traumas or toxicity or infection or something that hasn't unhinged to let us move into health. Our cells are constantly turning over. We're a new body every couple of years. Our digestive cells turn over every 3 days. So the reality is that we're physically a new human being, new structure, every 4 or 5 years or so. So this body that we're relating to as I am is actually in this moment going to be different than the reality, a few years down the road. We are not the body, we have a body. So important. Now, in this mindset of wellness versus reactive, an adopted mindset for wellness is to understand that it's a multi-therapeutic approach. I can't tell you how many people come in the office and say, I've tried everything. No, you haven't. You have not tried everything. I'm a doctor, constantly optimizing, focusing on wellness, prevention, et cetera, I haven't tried everything. And my mindset says, what else is possible? What else is available? There must be more. There are more answers. I just need to look for them. It's being question-oriented instead of focusing on just, knowing, question-oriented in the fact that we don't yet know what's there, but we're open to the idea that something is there. Instead of having that fixed mindset of there's this one thing that I've tried, it doesn't work, so therefore, I'm settling with this experience. And that multi-therapeutic approach is really a growth mindset. It's realizing that there's so many possibilities, I just have to open up to curiosity. And when we say multi-therapeutic approach, fasting, detox, nutritional changes, supplementation, lab testing, relationship building with self and with others, and looking at all the obstacles in our life that are interfering with us moving towards health. Like I said, our bodies are constantly moving towards health. We have to figure out what's limiting us from getting from point A to point B. And in this multi-therapeutic approach, and in this wellness mindset, it's not a straight line. It will never be a straight line. There's too many factors, which I'm going to get into in a sec. But there's too many factors limiting us from getting to point A to point B. So it's going to have some curves in the road. There's going to be some bumps. There's going to be some craters. Maybe there's some, bridges we need to cross. And this is the mindset we need to adopt. We can't be stuck in this rigidity that there's only one solution for one problem. It's a multi-therapeutic approach. We need a growth mindset, a wellness mindset. We have to be focused on curiosity and asking the right questions and what else is possible. So lastly, to sort of wrap this up, if you're Canadian or you're a Raptors fan, obviously we just won. We won it all. It's exciting stuff. I grew up playing basketball my whole life. I love basketball. Played college basketball. It was a huge part of my life since having kids and getting involved in the work that I do. I don't play a lot of basketball anymore, but I still love it. And so the analogy that I wanted to bring to you, just because of the basketball craze that's going on, is that imagine if there was 5 players, let's say Toronto Raptors, and they're all playing against Michael Jordan. Now Michael Jordan's amazing. Michael Jordan will never beat a team that's got 4 more players than him. It's impossible. Well, anything's possible, but Michael Jordan also has limitations. Despite how good he is, it's going to be extremely hard for him to solve every single defensive maneuver from the Raptors, let's say. The only way this is going to be a fair game is if it's 5-on-5. Or maybe for Jordan, maybe 4-on-5. Maybe he could still win. The point is that these 5 players, the Toronto Raptors, let's say, represent all our obstacles to getting healthy. So let's say we have toxicity. That's an obstacle. Let's say we're on the wrong diet plan. Our nutrition we have not solved that, optimal nutritional plan for us. Let's say we were stuck in emotional trauma, repeating the tapes of just putting ourselves down and having this limiting belief system or this fixed mindset system. Maybe that's we're not on the right supplementation, or we don't know how to supplement. Maybe we haven't done any sort of lab testing to analyze where we're at. These things are constantly in play. They never stop playing. There's no 4 quarters with these guys. They're always on. And then we can add things to this list: environmental toxicities, pollution, not going to bed on time, not recovering, exercising too much, not exercising enough. The list goes on and on and on. So without those 5 players eventually become 10 players against the 1. Now the 1 is the mindset that there's only one solution for all these problems. The one medication that's going to solve, my blood pressure. The one medication that's going to solve my inflammation issues. The one medication that's going to solve chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia. That is impossible. That will never, 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 never work. We need to reprogram our mindset around wellness. We need to add some more players onto the team. This is a multi-therapeutic approach. And if we don't adopt this, we will not get anywhere with this one solution. So, hormones are great, but hormones aren't going to solve all these problems. There's some great medications out there, antibiotics, which can be used in acute situations, but they're not going to solve all these problems. If we don't start correcting our lifestyle measurements or our lifestyle triggers and start removing these players from the game, then we can start to tip the odds in favor of the home team, right? And so we need to add some more players to the roster. And so that's fasting, that's detox, that's emotional work, that's getting into the parasympathetic relaxed state, that's fixing up the gut microbiome, that's doing all these things. And guess what? Adding more players to your team and removing the things that are interfering with you is going to take some time. It may take a few weeks, it may take a few months. The reality is that this is something you need to move into for the long haul. This has to be the journey that you start to adopt. And you take your time with it. It's not going to be all at once. It's a multi-therapeutic approach. It's going to take some time to put into action. So anyways, I want to leave you with this because this is important stuff. And we see patients all the time who, this worked. And it worked so well. And it worked, like it took care of solved 50%, let's say, of the symptoms. And that was good enough, right? And that was good enough because it knocked things down and there was a change that happened. The problem is we get so tied to that one thing and we forget about all the other players on the game that are influencing us for the worse. And so we all need to understand we need the curiosity mindset, we need a wellness mindset, we need to understand that there's going to be some dips and valleys and bumps and bridges and things to cross and overcome, but we will get there. We just have to keep applying the multi-therapeutic approach. And as you do this, you will experience success. And it will be repetitive in some situations. Sometimes it's going to be a little harder than others. But there's a journey to walk, and there's a life trajectory. And our cells, like I said, they're constantly turning over. We're making new bodies every few years. So let's work today to create that Ferrari 3, 4, 5 years from now. Because we all have that right. And our bodies are constantly moving towards wellness. They're not on a downward decline towards disease and aging and ultimately death. We can live with vitality and energy and confidence and amazing relationships. People have done it time and time again. And so we can all step into that. Okay, so that's a Wellness Wednesday talk for today. Hopefully this left you with some nuggets, some tools to think about and ponder and apply. And if you haven't yet done something to correct this pattern, you need someone to help you out, and that's why we're here. A lot of people can get by with just researching on their own and whatnot, but if you're not looking at those objective markers, if you're not finding out who's playing on the other team, it's going to make life really challenging to the point where people give up and they just start looking for that one thing again. Okay, so that's all I've got for you today. Be well, live long and prosper, and build that Ferrari. Say bye, Soren. He's a man of few words right now. Usually he doesn't stop talking. Okay, have a great week.